Bet365 is an A-rated book on SBR. Click on their logo to discover why.
Welcome everyone, I'm Jordan Sharp. We cashed a couple of winners last night on Tuesday evening, and with a big night of NBA action ahead of us here on a Wednesday night, let's take a look at a couple more NBA picks I have chosen for you right before the All-Star break, where there won't be much NBA action for the next 4 or 5 days. So we'll start it off in Atlanta, where the Toronto Raptors are coming into town. The Raptors come in as a 6-point road favorite in this game, total of 200 points. Now, the Atlanta Hawks played last night in Chicago. Looked like they were going to get blown out, but came back slightly in that game. Still got the loss, but now have to go up against another tough defensive team on no rest against the Toronto Raptors. And even though it's at home, the Hawks, are 4-7 against the spread this season when playing on no rest. And I think that's going to give a nice advantage to the Toronto Raptors. And I think 6 points, just a little bit undervaluing Toronto here, as they have been very much so over their last 25 games. In their last 25, Toronto 18-6-1 against the spread. So Toronto has been absolutely one of the most undervalued clubs in the entire NBA this season, going up against a Hawk team that is only 1-4 straight up and against the spread in their last 5 games. I think the Raptors are definitely the play at -6 versus the Eastern Conference. Raptors only giving up about 92 points per game, and on the second night of a back-to-back, the Hawks are going to have a very hard time scoring, much like they did last night against the Chicago Bulls. So I'm going to go ahead and lay the points on the road with the Raptors at -6. Now the next one for you is the Kings heading into New York to play the Knicks tonight. The Knicks come in as a 5.5-point favorite, total of 203 points. In Sacramento, played last night, didn't play very well either in Cleveland, and now have to go into New York right before the All-Star break on the second end of a back-to-back. Now the Sacramento spread is very tempting. However, it is this season the Kings have just not been great against the Eastern Conference on the road this year. The Kings are only 1-7 against the spread in interconference road games this season, and on the second night of a back-to-back, just not something I want to go into. However, the total at 203 seems to have some pretty good over-betting value here between these two teams, neither of which play a lot of defense. Of course, the Kings give up about 105 points per game on the road this season. The Knicks have been playing a little bit better defense as of late. However, the Kings provide a lot of mismatches for this club. Isaiah Thomas, there's no one to really stop him. The Knicks, really, Tyson Chandler plays well, but I think he's not going to give Boogie Cousins much trouble tonight down in the post. So I think there's going to be a lot of points scored between these two teams. At 203 just seems like a bit too low for these two offenses. At home this season, the Knicks have cashed the over at 16-12 this season, and the over is also cashed in 10 of New York's last 14 games. So New York on a very big hot streak, scoring the ball and not playing a lot of great defense right now, has led to a lot of overs being cashed. And I think for no rest here for the Sacramento Kings, likely make their defense a little bit worse than what it already is. On the second night of a back-to-back this season, Kings have cashed the over at 5-4-2. So just a little bit ahead in that trend as well. I think it will lead to another over bet here tonight between the Knicks and the Kings here. So add that to the Raptors -6 against the Hawks tonight in Atlanta. Both those to your NBA picks this evening. Best of luck to you. I'll see you back here after the All-Star break. But until then, I'm Jordan Sharp, and this has been another edition of the Sharp Pick.